guys.
Yo.
So I was watching some YouTube and I saw Tim Tracker post a video about the survey that Universal Studios sent out regarding coronavirus and reopening. Josh has yet to see the video or know any of these questions, but I thought it would be interesting to get our opinions because they had some really good points, and every time a question was asked, it brought up more questions. So,
okay.
And Josh is pretty insightful when it comes to these things. He is a first responder, so I think you'll have a lot of knowledge in some of these things or have some ideas. And I studied theme park management, so I'm coming from that background as well.
Why do I feel like I just got put on a huge pedestal and I have high expectations and I'm gonna fall flat on my face?
I also thought it'd be interesting to answer the survey questions as a non-annual pass holder. So they're annual pass holders, they live in Florida.
I'm already depressed. You need to like make me more sad by saying that we're not.
But this is about Universal.
Oh, okay, I don't care about that. That's that shadowy area, we don't talk about that.
So I thought it'd be interesting that to come from like a vacationer's perspective rather than an annual pass holder's perspective. Something he did say in the video, and I think this is very big of him to say, is that when they first reopen, they shouldn't allow annual pass holders in. They should only allow day guests so they can track how many people are coming into the park.
I can kind of see where that is. I mean, for an annual pass holders, I mean, you guys can go anytime, day, night, whatever. When you're a vacationer, you're spending thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars to stay on property. And again, I'm not just talking about Universal, I'm talking about, Disney World as well. You're spending all this money, you have time off from work, your family has to reorganize their entire life just so they can go for that 1 week usually. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think it's a lot smarter, and actually not smarter, I shouldn't say that. It is more fair that, they don't allow annual pass holders to come. I mean, they kind of like when they blocked off when Pandora opened or when Toy Story Land
blackout dates.
They have blackout dates where it was only for vacationers and not for annual pass holders.
And I think that was really big of him to say, especially because going to the parks is his source of income. So for him to like give that suggestion, I think it was big. So we're gonna jump into the questions. I have them on my phone.
I don't want to jump. That means I have to stretch. I'll pull a muscle, something. Listen, I'm a dad. I'm allowed to make dad jokes now. Sorry.
We're gonna get into the questions. Just a reminder, we are not Universal annual pass holders. I Googled this list of questions.
That's because we don't want to waste our money in Universal.
Disney did not send out a survey that I know of. So let's get into it. Question 1. Should all guests be required to wear face masks?
Yes. So, because as of right now, I mean, we were watching the news today and, there's a possible vaccine out there for the coronavirus. As of right now, there's no definitive 110% vaccine. So the best way that, again, I'm a fireman and an EMT, so I kind of know what's going on with the coronavirus. I can honestly tell you guys, wearing a face mask, yes, it'll stink for when you guys are taking photos, like family photos or whatever, but if my family has coronavirus and we walk upon your family and you don't know us, whatever, and we are have the virus in us, whether we're asymptomatic or not, we can cough, sneeze, do whatever, and you won't even know that you'll have coronavirus while you're on vacation. Yes, it'll stink when it comes down to photos, or, maybe take your mask off for half a second, take the photo, and then put your mask back on. But honestly, my opinion is yes, definitely wear a mask.
And I definitely agree. And I have to say, I am someone who has a really hard time wearing a mask. I have certain like sensory issues. I almost have like a panic attack because I can feel myself breathing. Then I focus on my breathing. I'm just very uncomfortable wearing a face mask. And this is something that I actually like. I think it's necessary. It is something that would prevent me from going to the parks until a vaccine, or if I could get like a doctor's note to not wear a face mask, and that's my own risk. But I think everyone should wear a face mask. And like I said, that's something that would prevent me from going to the parks, because there are people like me that can't wear them for long extended periods of time.
And just remember, we know that there are a lot of states out there that are loosening a lot of the restrictions. And there's a lot of people that are protesting, saying, don't close the economy, so on and so forth. You're doing this not for yourselves. You're doing this for other people who can't protect themselves. And what I mean by that, the elderly, people with underlying conditions. Granted, no one likes the economy being shut down. Granted, no one likes wearing a mask, especially on vacation. You're not doing it for yourselves. You have to remember that. You have to think bigger and away from just you and your family. If you're going on vacation, you have to think of it as the person next to you. You can't think of only but yourselves. That's just my own 2 cents, at least.
Yeah. Require all team members to wear face masks. Definitely.
So again, see previous answer. I don't have to repeat.
Suspend X-ray conveyor belts at security. I don't think that's necessary.
I don't either. I mean, when you're going through the airport, you kind of have to do the same thing anyway. Let me rephrase that. I apologize. You don't have to do that through the airport. When you're going through security, you put your bag on an X-ray machine and it goes through a machine. You have one, again, I'm using Disney World's terminology, cast member staring at a screen looking at the bags being checked. I know Universal does that, Disney doesn't, but bag checkers in Disney, they have a little bit more interaction with guests. So I can see kind of, why they...
The bag checkers...
I guess. I don't know how to word it properly.
If we wanted to do... So if Universal was afraid of this, I think the security is still needed. We're in the time where security like that is needed. If they were going to do that, I would say put a piece of parchment paper down, put your stuff down, let it go through, and then you toss that piece of parchment. Like when we go to the chiropractor, we lay a piece of parchment for our face, and then we get up and the next person lays a piece of parchment down. For Disney, I think what they'd have to do is security would have to have gloves. They have their stick, but they're still touching the bag. They're not unzippering, but they're still touching it. They'd have gloves, and after the next person, they would have to take those gloves off and put a new pair of gloves on. And I mean, Disney's trying to go green, but everything about Corona is gonna stop the world from going green.
I don't know if it'll stop it from going green. I mean, I don't want to go on to this topic. Amy does have a good point. I mean, you have to constantly change gloves. I mean, when I go on EMS runs or assist with EMS as a fireman, we constantly have to change our gloves. We go to car accidents, if you have multiple patients in a car accident, you have to change gloves because you don't know if that person had AIDS, well, the passenger didn't have AIDS, and now you can cross-contaminate people. So I kind of understand that, but like what Amy just said, in this day and age, not that you can't go green with it, but you kind of have to do what you have to do to protect your employees, your cast members, as well as guests that are going there. So It is what it is.
Require all team members to undergo rapid COVID testing under 15 minutes for results. Only those with negative results would be permitted to work.
So the entire country is kind of like...
Let's say the tests are readily available. We'll start with that.
Are you going to test the cast member or the employee every single day, multiple times a day?
Only once a day when they show up for work, before they clock in. They get the test, they get the result. If they're good to go, they're good to clock in. If not, they have to go home. I think so.
I would think so, yes, but that's an outsider looking in. There are people that believe that either maybe one of multiple things. One, that's an invasion of privacy. Two, yes, they are my employer, but do they have that right to take that test from me? I mean, there's a lot of legality reasons that I don't know the answers to. From a safety standpoint, yes, 110%. No blink.
It would be something they have to put in like the handbook. Like random drug testing. It's very similar to that.
I understand that. And again, I don't know if there's any legal ramification of that. Again, looking from the outside looking in, yes, as someone who is a guest at your park, I would want that your cast members or your employees to be testing if the tests again are readily available and or there's no vaccine out there because of everything we've been talking about. You don't know if she has it, I have it, my dog has it, we don't know.
And this is, just to be clear, these questions are, would you feel more comfortable?
No, and I get it, but I'm answering it from every side. Not that me as a guest walking into the park, but I'm seeing it more from a cast member or employee standpoint where their rights are as well.
Now, in the same turn, the next question is, get all guests go on go through a rapid test. My opinion is if they require and can require, I know the legality, a rapid test to enter the park, and if you're negative, you can come in. If you're positive, you cannot. Then I don't think the other things are necessary, like a face mask, social distancing, because you're being tested when you walk in.
So they're still learning a lot about the virus. I do believe that people should still wear a face mask even if they test positive. Because
Negative, you mean?
Negative, excuse me. Even if they test negative for the virus, even if you test positive for the antibodies, honestly, I agree with Amy. If you as a guest, let me back this up a little bit more. If the cast members and or employees of the park have to get tested, let's use that word have to, then the guests should have that same standard that if you want to walk into their park and you want to enjoy the park, you have to get tested that day when you're walking into that park as well.
What you have to remember is you're a guest in that park, and you're there to enjoy the day or the week, however long you're there. Those employees, that's their place of work. That's their home. It needs it to be safe. And what you can think about is, we'll use us as an example. We fly down to Florida. We enjoy Florida when we go. It's our vacation. It's not our home. If one of us is asymptomatic and carries corona and gives it to a cast member, that cast member is coming into contact with, let's not even talk about the other guests. They're coming in contact with other employees, managers. They're bringing it home to their family. That's an outbreak just in the Orlando area.
And that's only if one person is infected.
Mm-hmm.
Think about if there's hundreds upon hundreds of people that are affected that don't know about it and walk in, and those cast members or employees who have already tested negative and don't have any antibodies and blah, 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 are now infected because that guest brought it into the park.
So my opinion through this whole survey is anything that team members do, that guests should have to do.
Yes, hand sanitizing, masks, everything.
I'm going to group these two together because just like we mentioned, guests and team members, in our opinion, should have to do the same thing. Require to have their temperature taken prior to entering the park.
And what was the second question?
Guests and team members.
Oh, then yeah. I mean, if you're getting tested, what's honestly like a little laser going towards your head to see if your temperature is high?
If you're getting tested, I don't know if you need the temperature check.
Yeah, because you know what? At that point, you're already sick and you shouldn't be on vacation already.
But
So
what I am going to say, and this was brought up as a concern, you're in Florida, you're in the heat. Is that heat going to raise your body temperature when they do the infrared temperature check? So what a lot of people suggested was actually doing the infrared 3 times. If it's still high, use an oral.
I mean, again, like Amy just said, I mean, if you're getting, for the sake of it, for the sake of argument, if you're getting tested and you come up as negative, then you don't need the thermometer. Or maybe what they can do is test your temperature first, and I guess if you already have it, then you go on to the next stage of getting screened. I mean, there are different things.
You may be asymptomatic though. You may not have.
So then maybe not your thermometer. Maybe not taking your temperature. I mean, is probably the smartest thing. Maybe just going straight to a test. Yeah.
Next question. Implement touch-free payment for food, merchandise, and parking. Disney's pretty much already doing this with a Magic Band, although annual pass holders can't use their Magic Band to pay. They should do this.
So I agree. Magic Band, of course, but I think maybe what Disney needs to do or should do or can do, same as Universal, is maybe kind of like, how your credit card has like a chip in it, where you just have to go like that. Maybe something to that effect with a gift card.
Or their annual pass, if you have an annual pass.
Yeah, or
do like a plastic annual pass rather than.
Yeah, and then link that with like a credit card or something to that effect, as well as like use or utilize your apps a little bit better. Like Disney has, when you want to order food, the quick service, you could just dial in, order whatever, and then go and pick it up. Makes it a little bit quicker. People aren't waiting in lines, and yeah, I agree with that. Smarter idea.
Eliminate self-serve food options. Example, team members would refill beverages. This would probably eliminate buffets. I think this is smart. In the way of buffets, they could easily do all-you-can-eat family service similar to like Ohana.
So last video we talked about eating at Pecos Bill, and getting nachos and all you can eat
That
and
would
blah,
be a
blah,
thing of
blah.
the past.
That would be definitely a thing of the past. It does stink, but in this day and age, until there's a vaccine, until, you know, things are back to normal. Sorry, I know you guys can't see me right now. But yeah, I agree.
Require team members to wipe down vehicles' seats between rides. So I have an opinion on this. I think it needs to happen. It stinks. It's gonna make the wait times astronomical. But I think what they can do instead, as an alternative, is right as you're about to get on the ride, you have your own wipe.
Okay, so with that being said, I don't agree with Amy on this. I don't think wiping down is the answer. I think fog spraying is smarter, quicker, and gets all like the nook and crannies. Like if you're spraying with a Lysol, you don't know where the Lysol spray is spraying, but you know that it's covering all that area, which could possibly be nooks and crannies that you don't see or know about with a wipe that a spray would. So I think if they had a cast member come by and literally just fog each seat in between the rides, it won't take longer. You know, maybe add an extra 15, 30 seconds in between, you know, the next guest coming in. But I honestly think fogging is probably the smarter, quicker, more efficient way.
Implement social distancing practices throughout the parks. Queuing, table spacing at restaurants, mobile ordering.
We already kind of touched on that though.
Yes. If they're not going to do the testing, I think they definitely need to do that. I think when you go to the park, you're responsible for your own actions. Yes, at a courtesy, 6 feet apart. And they should do it in places like a restaurant, maybe on the ride, queuing. But like when you're walking up and down the street or the walkways, it's kind of hard. But I'm going to go back to this one. I would feel a million times more comfortable if they did the testing. If they could do the rapid testing, I would feel very comfortable because I know that everyone that's in the vicinity of the park has been tested and they're negative as of that morning.
I agree with everything Amy just said, but I will say this. A person is smart, people are stupid. So when you look at us, we're smart, educated people. But there's a lot of people out there, and I'm trying to be as politically correct as possible, that are not educated enough to know what's right, what's wrong, what they should do, what they should not do. And I'm not just talking about millennials, like everyone always says, oh, the beginning of the pandemic, that spring breakers were on the beach. I'm not just talking about them. I'm talking about 30, 40, 50-year-old people that still don't use their real common sense and think that this pandemic is a conspiracy theory. It's not. People are dying. So I agree with Amy and everything else that we've said so far, but I'm going to say what I just said again. A person is smart, people are stupid.
I'm going to add a question to this. This is not one that's in here.
Okay.
Okay, actually, it is one that's in here, but we'll skip to it. If they're practicing social distancing, that means they would have to get rid of nighttime shows and parades, such as Happily Ever After and the Dance It Parade. I'm talking specifically Disney. I know there are other parks like Universal, but think about that. Like, they would not do Happily Ever After. They would not do Fantasmic. They could do, because they'd have to space out bleachers. That's easy. They could do Fantasmic, but they couldn't think of Epcot, the Epcot show. Like, it would be nearly impossible to do that.
So if you had every guest in the park and your party was only 2 people in your party, I could see it that it's very easy to manage and whatnot. But I know that a lot of people go to Disney and Universal and have 6 people, 12 people deep. With that being said, yes, I do agree that I think a lot of the nighttime fireworks and shows, spectaculars, would probably have to stop. And that's, if you guys have seen other videos, me saying how much I absolutely love Happily Ever After. It is what it is. I mean, in this day and age, it stinks that I would miss the fireworks. And it would stink if someone's first trip to Disney, you don't see the fireworks, but...
Now, I personally feel two things. Number one, everything I'm saying is before a vaccine. Once a vaccine goes into place, I don't believe this stuff's necessary.
I agree with that. You know, this is all pre-certified vaccine. Granted, I think earlier today the FDA, you know, fast-tracked the vaccine, but it was only done on, I think it was like 1,000 people, 10,000 people, something stupid like that, over the entire world, where most, you know, vaccines usually take anywhere between 12 to 18 months. They fast-tracked this, you know, within 3 to 4 months, so I'm kind of still iffy about it. But I agree, until there's a vaccine.
So, like I said, everything like I'm saying at least, and now Josh has agreed, is pre-vaccine. But I would also, if they're taking away, they're limiting capacity is what, you know, there's a question here about limiting capacity. They're going to have to limit capacity to some degree to do social distancing. They're taking away nighttime shows, which we're sitting here agreeing that all this is going to have to be done. They're going to have to lower park tickets probably. I would not, the value of my park ticket is declining. You know, I'm paying to see those nighttime shows. I'm paying for certain rides. I'm paying for certain things, and I'm not getting that.
I don't know if I agree with that. Yes, you are right that we're missing all of those nighttime spectaculars, as Amy said. But with that being said, you're still going on the same rides. You're still seeing the same attractions. You're still shopping at the, you know, the Emporium. You're still buying the same foods. You're actually probably going to get your wait time on rides are going to be a lot shorter. So there's your money's. I'm making a joke. There's your value of your money of your ticket. But if they do that, you're going to have to cut salaries for all the cast members and all the employees at Universal, and I don't think that would be a right thing to do. Even though ticket prices are still astronomical, I still think that I'm willing to pay the $100 and some odd it is for the ticket to make sure that cast members and employees don't lose pay over this.
All right, we're down to our last two questions. One, should they close indoor attractions and shows? I don't agree. I don't think they need to.
So again, like Amy was saying about the bleachers during Fantasmic, if they can mark off 6 feet apart in seats, every third seat, every 2 seats or whatever, I don't think that they need to cancel it, especially if one of multiple things. One, that, you know, they're tested when they walk into the park, and or they're wearing a mask. You know, guests and cast members are wearing masks. I think it's a lot safer. I don't think that they need to cancel indoor attractions.
Okay. And character meet and greets.
Ooh.
That would lower the ticket value of that would lower the value of my ticket.
I think it'll stink for people's photos, but I think they would have to wear masks. That would help protect, including the handlers, everyone's around the character. I think it's still doable, but I don't think they need to cancel character meet and greets. Maybe some of the face characters, I think that would have to be canceled, but the full dress characters that they're meeting, I think that's still doable.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment down below on your opinion on some of these questions. We'd love to hear it. I know it's a hot topic right now, and we're really interested in seeing what Disney and Universal and the parks are gonna do.
Also, don't forget, since we said it last video we actually announced, we have new social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We have not posted anything really, but we're leaving that out there so when we do start traveling and when we do start getting out of the house, we're going to be posting a lot more on there. So it's a way that you guys can interact with us a little bit easier.
Be sure to subscribe, like this video, and like I said, comment, and
see you real soon.